Yes, my dear friend, a very good afternoon to you wherever you are on the globe, especially on the continent of Africa, in Europe, in America, in Canada, Australia, or right here in Southeast Asia, Malaysia to be precise. Wherever you are, dear friend, it is a beautiful Saturday indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this very special edition, we will be talking a little bit about some other matters, then we'll conclude with Chelsea. Oh yes, remember tomorrow is Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, and I will bring you my predicted lineup exclusively tomorrow, not now. Normally 3 hours to the game. I'll also be doing my preview of the game tomorrow morning. But quickly, this afternoon, it depends on where you are. It might be in your evening. But this afternoon, I'm taking you through a journey of some other items on the agenda. Then we'll conclude with Chelsea. Don't go anywhere. Enjoy it carefully as it lasts. Remember, Chelsea, we are in a good mood. Going into tomorrow's game against Nottingham Forest, before the international break, we are in a good mood, and it is expected that Chelsea will win tomorrow's game as well. So don't go anywhere. Stay with me. Quickly, Paul Pogba. Yes, it's in the news once again. Almighty Paul Pogba is in the news once again. He's been banned for 4 years from football for drug-related matters, as we already know. But as of yesterday, Friday, it came out that Paul Pogba will be back in action in 2025. Confirmed. Paul Pogba will be back in action in playing football from the year 2025, next year, yes. His 4-year drug ban has been reduced to just 18 months, as Mail Sport reported. Pogba can start training with Juventus in January, and then he will be allowed to play official matches in March 2025. Well, he has appealed against the 4-year ban, and he succeeded in getting his appeal reduced from 4 years to 18 months. Paul Pogba fans out there, your man is back, and by January, he will be allowed to start training with Juventus in 2-3 months. January, February, March, he can start playing active football once again. Thank God. I know Juventus, they still have a contract with him. They've not terminated their contract. There's a clause. Yeah. Even though the contract was inactive, it can be reactivated with Juventus and he can start training with them in January. By March, he will play official games from March. Paul Pogba is back and it is official. Good news for Paul and his family. Good news for Paul Pogba and his family. Well, on the agenda, Pep Guardiola, Manchester City head coach Pep Guardiola, speaking about the Club World Cup and the consequences for his clubs, Manchester City and Chelsea. The Premier League will resume just 1 week after the Club World Cup is over. The Premier League will resume just 1 week after the Premier League is over. And it seems like the clubs are not happy about it. It seems like Pep is not happy about it. Manchester City is not happy about it. Chelsea is here to speak on the matter. Enzo Maresca was asked a question regarding it, and the answer he gave, it seems to me, he did not clearly understood the question. But Pep Guardiola was asked a similar question, and he elaborated. This is what he said. The Premier League did not allow us and Chelsea to postpone the first games to help with our recovery. Thank you so much. So if they do not postpone these games, it will be, oh, what do we have to do? And he continued, he said, I don't have an answer right now because I have never been there before. I don't know. We are going to take a decision. I will say, with common sense, we are going to see the players and the schedule. Already, the clubs that will participate in the Club World Cup, they might not even have the opportunity to go for, preseason. Most of the clubs won't even use that participation as their preseason. But remember, it is a cup competition. It is not just a preseason. So every game you play counts. In Europe alone, I think there are about 12 clubs from Europe. 12 clubs from Europe are going to be participating. I'm not too sure how many clubs from Africa or in Asia. But I know 12 clubs from Europe are participating in the Club World Cup. And it's going to be a very tough competition. Like FIFA already made it very clear. All participating clubs must come with their strongest team. So if they are going with their strongest team, remember it is a summer season. Some of the players need to have a rest after a tough season with their previous leagues before going for the pre-season. Now, due to this competition, a club like Chelsea and Manchester City, the players right from the Premier League, once the Premier League is over, they will have to start preparing towards the Club World Cup in the US of A. Means that there's no rest for the players. That's what Pep Guardiola is saying, is that he has never experienced it before. It's the first time. What then do they need to do? It is up to the various leagues, like the Premier League, to take a decision. Should they postpone or reschedule the start of the Premier League season, maybe another 2 weeks from then? Or should they give only Chelsea and Man City their first 2 games? Will be rescheduled for them so that at least their players can have a week break. The next week they can, they can come back and, refresh a little. This is what Pep was speaking about. Dear friends, it is going to be tough, actually. It is going to be tough if these 2 clubs and some other clubs around Europe, there are some countries that the season will not start the same time the Premier League season starts. So they might not be heavily affected. But we wait to see how Chelsea is going to handle the whole issue. And please, in the comment section, I heard somebody ask, or somebody said, is it Kendrick Paez or Estaval will not be part of the Club World Cup because they'll be playing for the club, where they are already participating, where they are already playing on loan. Therefore, it's not so. The loan period is for a season. Once the season is over, Estaval becomes Chelsea player. Once the season ended, the Club World Cup is like a pre-season. So the player is expected to return to Chelsea after the season has ended. So the club, Maresca, cannot register Estaval or Kendrick Paez. They cannot be registered to partake in the Club World Cup for them. No. They are only on a loan for a season. And so once the season is over, the players are expected to return to Chelsea. Dear friends, it is what it is. So Chelsea can register them duly if Chelsea want them to partake in the Club World Cup. It is what it is. Now, in my first video, I spoke about Renato Viega and Calafiori. In my first video, I spoke about Renato Viega and Calafiori. I was looking for this record to show you, but I couldn't find it. And if you check the record of the 2 players, as you can see on your screen, their statistics so far, their performances so far for their teams, clearly Renato Viega is doing far better than Calafiori, Ricardo Calafiori. You see, Arsenal really thought they'd done something when signing Calafiori for £42 million. They really thought. They thought they were smart Chelsea when they, Chelsea showed interest in signing Renato Viega, Calafiori. All of a sudden, Arsenal came in because they believe that they are in a better position to offer Champions League football. So the player accepted to go to Arsenal, rejected Chelsea's offer. Chelsea noticing that Arsenal is in and they don't want to start another war, another player war with Arsenal. Chelsea withdrew and focused on FC Basel. Successfully, Chelsea secured the player that replaced Calafiori when he left FC Basel. And that player is Renato Viega. Renato Viega replaced Calafiori with FC Basel. Chelsea succeeded in getting Renato Viega for £12 million instead. £12 million only. And Chelsea ended up buying a better player than Arsenal did. Chelsea, at the end of the day, saved about £30 million. So we saved about £30 million. That is the man, Renato Viega, right there on your screen. Compare him to Ricardo Calafiori. They both came from the same FC Basel. Dear friends, yes, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Don't joke with our sporting directors. All right? Okay. Real Madrid, PSG, and Barcelona are all paying close attention to Erling Haaland's contract situation at Manchester City. Real Madrid, PSG, and Barcelona are all paying close attention to Erling Haaland's contract situation at Man City. The Norwegian striker is ready to sign a new deal, but only with £100 million release clause included. The player requested that the release clause should not be more than £100 million. Now, making both Real Madrid, PSG, and FC Barcelona paying close attention to the situation. In the summer, is Man City about to lose Erling Haaland? I believe that even Pep Guardiola is in his last season at City. I believe that. Pep himself, I believe he's in his last season at Manchester City. I don't think Pep will be going beyond this summer with City. But we wait to see. Erling Haaland, the interest from Real Madrid and Barcelona is very strong. So let's watch that. And he made a request that his release clause should not be more than £100 million. That contract is still being negotiated with Man City, and I believe Erling Haaland has a reason for doing that. All right. To some other news. Lee Castley is the current England interim head coach. Current England interim head coach Lee Castley says he is monitoring Jadon Sancho's performances ahead of future England return call-up. Right now, we understand Cole Palmer has been called up. I'm not too sure how many Chelsea players have been called up for the England game next week. But I know Cole Palmer, yes, he's been listed as one of the left backs. Yeah. But he issued a statement that he's monitoring Jadon Sancho's performances as well. So hopefully, Jadon Sancho's performances by next call-up, next international break, we might hear of Lee Castley calling Jadon Sancho to the England national team. He deserves it. Let me conclude now with Chelsea. Important things right here. And I'll go straight away to it. Moises Caicedo, our midfield maestro. Yes, the £115 million player Chelsea signed from Brighton last summer. And there have been many talks about this player over the past 4 months. Is it? 5 months, 6 months. About his performances under Mauricio Pochettino. Each ball that Caicedo will touch, each ball that he touches on the field of play, people look at him with the amount that was paid. But the question is it his fault? Did he price himself £115 million? Is it the player's fault? It is the clubs. They decide to do their business. He is just a player playing his football. You want to buy him, and the owners of where he was playing say, this is our price. Another club is coming, they chose to increase it until they got to that level. It's not the player's fault. But we'll be watching Caicedo based on the amount Chelsea paid for him. This season, we are beginning to see the best out of Moises Caicedo. We are beginning to see Caicedo now boxing the midfield as expected. Go and watch the game against West Ham, watch Brighton. In fact, all the 4-5 games we played so far this season, go and watch it carefully. We are beginning to see the real Caicedo boxing the midfield. And I'm happy because a player like him in our midfield, now we've seen Casadai as well. Cesare Casadai played against Ghent on Thursday. Another top-notch performance from another midfielder. We are yet to see full 90 minutes of Romeo Lavia. I want to see full 90-minute play of Romeo Lavia in one of our games. And let me conclude. Because right now, Moises Caicedo is taking the midfield now and is making that DN his place. He's making it his own right now. But he was being interviewed. he was being interviewed by Sky Sport. And one of the things that stood out for me in that interview, he was asked about the target for the season. What is Chelsea's target for this season? I'm concluding very soon. Our coach refused to say we have a target, which is to qualify for Champions League. He refused to say it. But ladies and gentlemen, Moises Caicedo will let the cat out of the bag. Caicedo says that Chelsea are working hard for Champions League spot this season under Enzo Maresca. Yeah, that is the target. That is a message from Moises Caicedo. Yeah, that is the target. He said, we are working hard for Champions League spot this season under Enzo Maresca. Yeah, that is a target. Dear friends, that is a target for Chelsea this season. Well, finally, Maresca, speaking at the press conference, made it very clear. No injuries ahead of Sunday's game against Nottingham Forest. Only Reece James is out. The entire squad is fit and ready to go for Sunday. What are your expectations on Sunday's game? Let me hear from you in the comment section. Let me hear from you in the comment section. What are your expectations, dear friend? I want to hear from you in the comment section. And for those of you who know what the first video, as you can see on your screen, this was me in May speaking about our new head coach, Enzo Maresca. The biggest risk in football history, Chelsea about to take by signing Enzo Maresca as new head coach. I doubted what Enzo Maresca could do when he was being signed by Chelsea. Today, I'm here to reverse my word. Yes, and again on the 6th of June, the first one was, on the 4th of June, again I came out and said expectations must be limited. Maresca can only learn on the job. Chelsea is not a mid-table team. Chelsea's job comes with pressure. I say again, limit your expectations. This was Salon's blog on X. Today, I am here to revise my notes to let you know Maresca is a top-notch tactician and he is up for the job. Dear friends, on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one when you see me. Shalom and peace.